Vegas has my heart, man.
It means the world to me. It's my home.
It's everything. It really is.
Las Vegas just has so much opportunity.
This is home. Las Vegas is home, man.
It is a land of opportunity.
Las Vegas has been my home for 20 years now.
You can have a crazy idea in the morning, and by mid-afternoon, you have a bunch of people on your side helping get it done.
Las Vegas is home. Las Vegas is home.
All right, guys, we're back with episode 25 of the Guest List podcast. I have here today somebody who is pretty popular in the fitness coaching, nutrition specialist, and certified trainer field. He is the founder and owner of Michael Sheedy Fitness LLC. So without further ado, Mr. Michael Sheedy.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing very well. I'm happy to be here and get on the podcast with you.
I appreciate it. You're the first trainer that I've had on here, and I actually graduated from UNLV with a kinesiology degree. So there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, so we'll be able to talk some of the same language then.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I've fallen a little bit behind though, and that's something with like kinesiology and fitness is that it's always advancing. And that was one of the reasons why I never ended up going into it ultimately, is because you have to stay on top of it. And when I was in college, I was falling behind a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of information constantly coming out, new studies and research being done. I try to stay on top of that myself, with people coming to me with questions about the new diets and, the new fads and what's popular. So I have to, help debunk some of these things that are popular, because at the end of the day, it's science that's going to win.
So here, let's get the most important question out first. Is Sunday the official cheat day?
Saturday is the official cheat day for me. Yeah. One day a week, I allow myself to kind of let loose a little psychological reset. And food never loses its hedonistic value. So, you got to enjoy yourself sometimes. You can't be too rigid and strict. That creates an extreme in one direction,
Is cheat day more of a marketing purpose and just kind of a reason for people to go binge, or is there some sort of scientific fitness expertise behind it?
Such a great question, actually. Both. So, I use it for marketing. I can tell people, hey, it's cheat day, and people love that. People love seeing fit people let loose and kind of enjoy food. But it's not a day. I usually just do one meal. I call it a day, but it's a meal. So what happens when your body is in a calorie deficit is over time, do you want me to get deep in science?
We could go in, as long as you give some explanation behind it.
Yeah, I'll get into a little layman as well. So basically what happens when you're in a calorie deficit for an extended period of time, which a lot of people do because a lot of people want to be thin and lean, is you have a metabolic adaptation. When this happens, your body goes into survival mode is what I would call it. And you start to store fat instead of burn it, because it doesn't know if you're in in 2020, it doesn't know if you're out in the woods back when we were cavemen, hunting for food. So it thinks that you're not getting enough food, so it's going to begin to store fat. That's a process of survival that our bodies are amazing at. So when this metabolic adaptation happens, you no longer burn calories as quickly as you did when you first got into that calorie deficit. So when you employ this cheat meal, or to put it in scientific terms, it's called a refeed meal, which is typically one meal that's high in carbohydrates. Of course, donuts and cookies and pizza fall in that category as long as it doesn't disrupt your digestive processes. It will actually allow you to reset certain hormones in your body that will help your body to continue to burn body fat efficiently. And this is, there's complete science behind this. So I use it both as a psychological reset and a physiological reset for my body to continue to burn fat.
I think that psychological reset is very important, because everyone knows that if you've ever been on a diet, after maybe a few weeks, you feel burnt out. You feel tired of eating the same chicken and rice or whatever weird fad diet you may be doing at the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I have a lot of opinions on those too. I feel very strongly about.
Really?
So,
yeah. I'm a big practicer of intermittent fasting now, just
Love
because
it.
I think it's more practical. I do generally about 14 hours in the minimum to 16 or 18, depending on how I'm feeling.
Okay.
But back when I was in college, I really got into ketogenic diet for a long time. I did it up to like 9 months at one point, and that's how I kind of got like really in shape.
Yeah.
But there's these points during the diet where you feel like shit, man. You're just so low, and your body's fighting it.
Yeah, you probably needed some food. You probably needed some more food. I mean, that's what it is. I feel pretty great when I'm trying to get in better shape. People are like, "You're in shape year round." I'm not, what you see on Instagram isn't what you see every day. You know what I mean? So, I feel pretty great when I am getting ready for something, whether it's a photo shoot or a competition, because, I'm eating enough calories. A lot of people don't eat enough. And if you feel like you're having a lot of cravings and you don't have energy, it's because you're not getting, enough of one kind of nutrient, whether it's, carbohydrates, protein, or, fats. There's something you're not getting in your diet, because you can be in a calorie deficit and feel good. I'm not talking shit about your diet that you were on, but maybe there was something you were missing.
That's probably the more practical reason. I just like to try different things. I tried to do vegan for 2 months. I cut that shit out real quick. No disrespect to vegan people, but it was just, I just felt like such low energy levels. It felt good for about a month. And then after the next month, I was like, I cannot continue this anymore.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and a lot of people don't do it correctly. You're missing out on nutrients when you're not eating animal protein. I do believe there is definitely some benefits to a vegetarian diet, of course, eliminating animal proteins. But if you are going in that direction, of course, you need to make sure you're substituting with the right nutrients that you're missing from animal proteins, which is typically a lot of protein, B vitamins, things like that. So
yeah, it's the diet fad. It just becomes more crazy in time. I hear a lot of people now doing like the juice and cleanse diet, which I know probably is not sustainable, where they'll do the juice cleanse for 7 days at a time, or 3 days, or kind of an extended. And you need to get all of your macros in there.
Eventually you need whole food. Yeah.
What would you say is the most important macro? Is there one that kind of takes more importance over the other?
Yeah, 1000%.
Well, what would that be?
Protein.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Every metabolic process and cell in your body is built from protein and the amino acids in it.
Okay.
You could survive on eating protein alone. Just protein. But yeah, you would feel like shit if all you ate was carbs. Protein can break down into carbs in your body. It's called gluconeogenesis. Is a process of where protein is converted into carbohydrates. That's why when people are on a keto diet, they actually have to keep their protein lower, because when you eat too high of protein in a keto diet, it throws you out of keto, because those proteins are converted to carbs, because your body is starved for glycogen, because your body is working on converting fats into your energy source as your primary energy source versus carbohydrates.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so far we've been doing this for about 10 minutes. You sound very knowledgeable. So let's back this up for a little bit. Kind of want to get your background and where you gained all this knowledge. So can you give us a brief description of who Michael Sheedy is, and background training, and how everything pertains to Vegas?
So like my background story in my business, or like my life, or both?
You do both.
Okay. Well, let's see. I started to get passionate about fitness and health. Typical story. I was playing football in high school. I was really skinny. I wanted to gain weight. So I started taking creatine and, trying to figure out the best supplements to gain weight. So I started working out. Byproduct of that was, gaining muscle. And then I liked the way that females started to perceive me differently, and started to really get interested in that. I watched one of my friends compete at a local bodybuilding show. I was like, cool, I want to do one of those. Decided to do that. And I ended up doing 9 different bodybuilding competitions, placing top 5 twice at a national level, barely missing the going pro, which is called getting your pro card in that. So yeah, I did a stint there, that really helped catapult me as far as into the fitness industry itself. But in regards to the knowledge and personal training side, actually after my first competition, I decided to get a personal training certification, but not to become a personal trainer. I actually did it because I just wanted to become more knowledgeable. I wanted to understand the body. I wanted to know exactly what I needed to do to be in the best shape possible, because I had people that I looked up to. And I know that those people that were in the best shape probably had a lot more knowledge than I did. So I got a personal training certification just to have it, just because I wanted to have that knowledge and the credibility, expertise, I'd say. And then from there, I worked at Yard House at Town Square. That was my second job. I got fired for like being late. It's super corporate, is what it is, and then I was like, you know what, maybe I'll start doing some personal training. So I started training at Gold's Gym before it was EOS.
RIP.
RIP. Yeah. I was making $8 a session. So it wasn't much, but from there really started enjoying to help people and learning the body and how things work. I ended up getting a mentor in the personal training space that really helped me. His name is Derek Perdue. He's now one of my really good friends. He really helped me to learn the business and learn the body, and he's really all about science as well. So that's when I started studying more, because you can get all the knowledge you want from a book, but it won't replace what you'll learn from actual hands-on experience. And that's really where I started to learn a lot. And then from there, I've been personal training now and really hardcore into the fitness industry for the past 7 years, I'd say. I have worked in the food and beverage industry as well. I worked for Hakkasan Group. I don't know if you know that, but I worked for Hakkasan Group at Stack at the Mirage for 5 years. Finally, I decided to quit that job and go full time in personal training in 2018, and haven't looked back since.
Yeah. So from what I see, it was definitely the right decision.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
All in time. And from what you're saying, it sounds like you had the combination of what we call, street smarts through the experience, and then book smarts through all of the certifications.
Yeah.
And so it's the perfect combination of that.
It's important. Yeah.
It is very important.
And people that know more than you, you know what I mean? Surrounding yourself with them. I think it's super important. That's why I asked you, I was like, who have you been learning from? Cause I can see like you kind of seems like you really have some momentum going with this, with your podcasting. And I think it's always best to learn from people that have done more than you and have been where you want to go. And I feel like that helped me a lot. And I don't want to discount that at all, because it's not just me, it's the people around me. Yeah.
I actually appreciate that first and foremost. And then second off, first off, I do want to say that working in Vegas, everyone here is very focused on their looks. It's a very, hate to say it, but it's a superficial town in terms of getting your job on the Strip. Everything's based off looks. It's a very instant gratification kind of town. Is that where you got, or is that where you received most of your clients, through the Strip, or is it from referrals and hanging out at the gym?
I think both. Referrals are huge. Vegas is such a small, it's really a small town. I mean, it's one city surrounded by mountains. We're in a valley. Basically, everybody is connected to somebody they know, but I would say that, definitely the industry and the, for lack of a better words, kind of superficialness of the city in regards to looks being put on a pedestal, which is totally fine. That's kind of what the city runs by, in the industry, in the model, positions that we have. I help people to get in shape, to get jobs, and, and that's definitely a good part of the business as well, is being here and being involved in that industry. But I would say word of mouth plays a big part in business in Vegas. If you can get a good reputation and you can help a couple people, they'll tell everybody they know. That's a big part of the business as well.
Isn't it funny how technology advances, but yet word of mouth is still it's still the say all be all for everything. They say that exactly with podcasting as well, fitness training. Pretty much in the industry, everything is word of mouth as far as referrals and getting hired.
Trust, no like. If you trust somebody, if you know them and you like them, you'll do business with them. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
It is. And
that'll never go away, ever.
Yeah.
As long as we're humans and we can still talk.
As long as we're very primal. I used to always say, when I was in college, that it's the application of what you know to who you know is what's going to find you the most success. But every day more that I live in Vegas and, being born here, I get pushed farther and farther into the who space as much as I don't want to believe it.
Relationships. I mean, and they're genuine. If you're a genuine person and you have something of value to offer other people, and it's a give and take. You do something for someone else does something for you, and then boom.
So when you find a new client, what is the process as far as gauging maybe what they need? Is there a physique route? Is there a strength route? Or do you guys come up with something together?
I always come up with something together with the client. Everybody has different goals. Ultimately, I'd say 90% of the people that are in the gym or coming to me are looking for aesthetics. They want to, look better. They want to get leaner. They want to get more muscle. Typically, a goal of people isn't about performance, but I also try to tie performance into things and health, because overall, feeling good is super important, and the more I connect to that, the healthier of a relationship I have with my body and the healthier of a relationship I have with my environment. So aesthetics are important. I think it's a very big driving force of who we are as human beings, because we look at each other, and psychologically speaking, guys with big muscles are going to be recognized to have more testosterone. That's going to be like more of an alpha male. So females are going to be attracted to that, whether they like it or not. Same thing with females, a smaller waist, bigger butt, all these things. So it's an aesthetic thing, but then I always try to tie it back into health, because at the end of the day, if you don't feel good, who cares what you look like? And I tell this to all my clients, I want you to feel good. I want you to be confident. I want you to have energy. I don't want you to feel depleted and tired. You know what I mean? That's important to me. So I feel that when you can tie the goal into something that's wholesome, you'll actually achieve both, and even the aesthetics better. Because if you're stressed out, your body's going to show it.
Yeah, it sounds like you kind of have to have the complete package.
It's important.
So would you say that it's possible to have a phenomenal aesthetic on the outside, but just be somewhat, you say, depleted or run on the inside based off of what would cause that?
1,000%. Being in too big of a calorie deficit, or not eating too strict. There's people that, in the fitness industry that are, where obsession takes a wrong turn, and that's why I've said, I've been there myself when I was competing, where I got so obsessed, so extreme, that I created an unhealthy relationship with food. So then it took me tying back into, more of a goal of, okay, I want to be healthy. I want to have longevity, and that's what's important. So there's definitely a point where there's factors that play a part in being unhealthy on the inside, but still looking good on the outside. And that comes down to your nutrition, your sleep, your environment. And I can tell you there's people that may look incredible, but are depressed and stressed because of their environment. It's not just food. It's your environment. It's your sleep. It's what you say to yourself. It's what people say to you. And then of course, if somebody's abusing, steroids and things like that, they're also going to have very unhealthy insides, but look healthy on the outside, so. Yeah.
It's something that society's put more emphasis on is the psychological aspect to pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. And since we're pretty much hardwired computers walking around as humans, you need to make sure that computer is functioning and not sparking out at any second based off of, the obsession. And that's something that I think most people who have had some sort of fitness kick end up going through an obsession. Personally, from personal experience, I was kind of a big kid going into high school, and then I lost a bunch of weight playing football, and you become obsessed with not going back to that fat kid role, and you just constantly check yourself in the mirror. And something in the industry I always make fun of, because I do this all the time too, I always call it flexi touch your stomach syndrome, where you see people who are working in the industry, they're always constantly flexing their stomach and feeling their own stomach. Yeah. And I call people out on it because
I'm guilty.
Everyone does it. It's funny, but I think that stems from not wanting to go back to your old ways, and you just kind of have to reassure yourself that you're on the right path. Yeah,
you have to, like I said, you have to allow yourself to let go every once in a while. I think that's something I've learned in the past actually years, just saying, okay, there's a point to where you can work so hard in any direction, whether it's in your business, on your body, where it's actually now you're going backwards because your body's hitting a wall. You have to reset. You have to allow yourself time to breathe. You know what I mean? In any direction. And that's really going to help you go further, right? When we take that time to reset, we're going to feel like we're more productive when we go back to what it was that we were so, into and obsessed with, whether it's work or your body,
Yeah, productivity is key, but that's also part of the reason why everyone falls apart because of how society is portrayed, working, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, just work yourself to death.
Yes.
And the industry is a little bit different because maybe if you work at a nightclub or day club, you only work 3-4 days a week, but it's the lifestyle that comes with it, which is detrimental and probably will raw your insides a little bit. Right.
With the partying and stuff like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
What is your opinion on supplements? Do you have a supplement with nutrition kind of ideals, or is it just nutrition first and supplement maybe if you're going for some sort of specific bodybuilding technique?
So nutrition first and supplement second. The word supplement itself tells you what it is. You're supplementing for something that you're not getting in your diet. I'll go a year without drinking a protein shake. And that's because I prefer whole foods over supplements. Now, protein, okay, back up for a second. The supplement industry capitalizes on people not understanding whole food. And they make people believe they need a pre-workout, an intra-workout, a post-workout, during the day supplement. They need a supplement for every part of the day. First thing when they wake up, but there is certain supplements that are important for our health. 70% of US adults are deficient in vitamin D3. So I recommend D3 at 5,000 IUs per day. That's important for serotonin release, for bone density, for immune system function. We get D3 from the sun, but it's not absorbed as well. So it's important to get that supplement in. So that's something I take regardless of what I'm doing. But like the pre-workouts, the intra-workouts, the post-workout shakes now, those aren't necessarily needed. But at times when a client or someone is struggling to get their protein intake in, especially on a vegetarian diet where you're, not getting animal protein, at that point, then supplementing with a protein supplement is going to be important because then you're going to be able to hit that macronutrient that you're trying to hit. So I do believe in whole foods first. We can get a lot of nutrients from our food, making sure you're getting a variety of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates in your diet, and then supplement with the vitamins and minerals that you may be missing or need more of based on your activity level, such as electrolytes, right? So that's something in Vegas, we sweat a lot. So what are we going to be sweating out? We're sweating out electrolytes, salt, potassium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, phosphate. So those are something that it's good to supplement with. I think everybody should take electrolytes. I know somebody that was having headaches and migraines for like a week. I told them to start taking electrolytes. 2 days later, their migraine and headache went away. They were dehydrated.
The small things that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
Especially in Vegas.
Yep.
I really cringe when people take pre-workout. I've only done pre-workout like twice in my life, but I know the supplement industry is not FDA regulated. And so there's a lot of different ingredients in there that should not even be in there. And a lot of X's, Y's, and Z's in there. Yep. And I know that's the ultimate turnoff.
You got it. Yeah, exactly. It's not FDA regulated. So you don't really know what you're getting. Some of these companies are second party or third party tested. So they're going to have more validity. But yeah, it's better to get your nutrients and vitamins from your food if you can.
So just touching on additional benefits, is there ever a correct time for somebody to use something like anabolic steroids or TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy, or any of these additional ones that kind of have a bad outlook from the world? Yes,
I definitely think there's a negative connotation that comes with, when you say anabolic steroids. I mean, somebody's going to be like, ugh, even me, when you said that, I'm like, oh, okay. But I like to say, hormone replacement. I think in the health, in regards to health, a lot of people have hormonal imbalances. I've worked with, hundreds of people here in Las Vegas. And I can tell you about 25 to 30% of people have some kind of hormonal imbalance. Typically it's people that are going to be in their older ages, but there's even younger cats, like 25-year-old dudes, that have low testosterone, and they don't know it until they get their hormones checked, and something like that could affect your well-being. It could affect your productivity. It could affect your relationships with the people around you. So of course, in the bodybuilding industry, something like, testosterone and anabolic steroids are widely used, even with the negative connotation. But for somebody to achieve that physique at that level, that's what it's going to take. And if they tell you they don't, they're lying. And it's messed up because the supplement industries capitalize that on as well. Like, take this pre-workout and you look like me. Bullshit. No, you won't. You got to take a lot of other things to look like that. But, I think that as, men get in their older ages and women get in their older ages, there's things that aren't the same as when you were younger in your hormones. And it's important to get blood work done to make sure that you're not just healthy on the outside, but you're healthy on the inside. And that's what it always goes back to.
Yeah, it has such a bad connotation. I think mostly because sports are so popular and it's disallowed in pretty much every sport outside of bodybuilding and a few other unpopular consumer ones.
Right.
So people
rightly
just
so.
People just kind of just put that in the basket that it's not necessary.
Yeah, but that's why you see a lot of people that are unhealthy too. That's why people, in a different in a different light, like relationships fail. If a woman and a male in their 50s both have a bad hormonal balance and low hormones, they're both going to be irritable and not get along and not have a sex drive. So, but I do understand why, it is something that's not allowed in sports, because you want a level playing field. And I do believe that there's a freak of nature athletes that have never touched, any kind of performance enhancing drug. And, those people are awesome. And it's amazing to watch, the athletes in the MMA and, in football and in basketball and hockey do their thing and, not be using anabolic. So, yeah.
Are anabolic steroids just flat out illegal?
Yeah.
They are?
I mean, certain ones are. I mean, without a prescription. But testosterone, as long as you have a prescription from a doctor and you get blood work done and you find out that you have low testosterone, a doctor can prescribe you that, and then you have to get blood work done regularly to make sure that your levels are in range. Because if you go too high, he's going to lower your dose. But it's not illegal as long as you have a prescription. But some of these other drugs that people are taking in the bodybuilding industry aren't legal even when prescribed from a doctor. And some of them are actually made for animals and not for humans that these bodybuilders are taking.
They're just trying to get any sort of athletic edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny too, because I thought TRT was kind of or testosterone was kind of in the same basket as all of these negative connotations. But, I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and he's a big advocate for it, and he openly talks about it. And that kind of made me do my own research for it. Yeah.
I mean, testosterone, it's made in both the male and female body. As male, it's our primary hormone that has a lot to do with our overall well-being. And it's something, so when you are administering a synthetic testosterone, your body recognizes it as testosterone. So you're not putting something in your body that it's not already getting. You just have a low amount of it. So now you're putting more into your body to tell your body, hey, to make some. So I believe it's a very, very underutilized supplement when it comes to men and women in their health, across the board, everywhere.
Would you consider testosterone to be the most important hormone for men in terms of health, fitness?
I'd say that and growth hormone 50-50. So, I mean, you could have a high testosterone level, but low growth hormone. Growth hormone is what helps you with recovery, right? And everybody makes growth hormone naturally, through our hormonal system. So, if you're low on, your growth hormone, you're going to have low bone density. There's the people that have genetically, they're shorter, when they have low growth hormone. So they actually have to have a doctor that prescribes them growth hormone from a young age just to make sure that they properly hit their growth stages in life. So that's something that's super important for overall well-being as well. But that's something that's made in our body.
Are there ways to naturally increase these two hormones outside of supplementation?
Oh, 1000%. Yeah. There's a lot of, things you can do with your nutrition and supplements that naturally, increase testosterone. And I help, all my clients do this as well. So, and your lifestyle choices, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, if you're not getting sleep, if you're stressed out, your testosterone and your growth hormone are going to be lower, which is going to contribute to a very poor body composition, higher body fat, typically around the midsection. That's why you see people that drink alcohol typically have, that gut, the bigger belly, and then skinny limbs, skinny arms, skinny legs, because they have high cortisol levels. They're getting calories primarily from an unhealthy source. Their testosterone is low. When you have high estrogen, you're going to hold body fat around your midsection. So the lifestyle choices are a big determining factor in your body's ability to naturally produce those two hormones. And then nutritionally, something that's, I think, has a negative connotation as well as eggs.
Really?
So, yeah. Egg yolks contain a dietary cholesterol that has a correlation between increasing your testosterone. And then also supplements like zinc. Zinc actually helps to naturally increase your testosterone levels as well.
Oh shit! I eat a ton of eggs. So
yeah, zinc and egg yolks. So get those in, and that's studied across the board. You can look studies up on that, and it'll tell you.
I used to be, when I was on keto, I used to live off of eggs and avocado. That was the main two.
Eggs and avocado. That was your deal.
That was and some peanut butter in there too.
Can't go wrong there. Yeah, yeah.
So is there? We've been talking mostly about men. Is there a critical female hormone that's
estrogen. Yeah.
Estrogen's most important?
Yeah, 100%. So that's the main, hormone of the female body, which is estrogen, which determines their feministic, character traits they have, that makes a woman a woman. So if they have too low of estrogen, they're going to be irritable and they're going to be depressed and they're going to get poor sleep. If they have too high of estrogen, same thing happens. So it's kind of like what they call a Goldilocks zone, where their hormones are balanced. And birth control and things like that can throw those things off. Even an Accutane can throw hormones off for females as well. So females actually have a more temperamental hormonal system than men, and it's a little bit harder for them to balance those things. I've done a lot of research on female hormones, on fertility cycles and things like that, because I want to have a better understanding of how to deal with the female body when I'm working with these with the girls. So they have it. I'm not gonna lie, they have it a little bit harder than men when it comes to their body. But science is science. As long as they work hard, eat healthy, and get exercise, they can and are balanced hormonally. They can get in great shape too. So
do you have more female or male clients?
I have more female clients.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say 70%, 75% female, 25% male. That's 70-30. Yeah.
Interesting. Is that more because they all work in the industry?
I think it's an ego thing. I think that a lot of guys don't want to admit they need help and think they can do it on their own. I do think that females like to have that accountability factor and someone to really push them in regards to the personal training space. So they're going to trust, a guy who's going to make sure that they're having the right form and pushing them. So I think that's where that comes from.
Interesting. And so let's say you have a female client and a male client, and they both have the same goals as far as physique. Would those training regimens be similar, or is it different because of biological systems?
Their training regimens would actually be very similar. I mean, a muscle is a muscle, a bone is a bone. Men and women have differences in their, in physiological aspects, hormonally and strength wise. Like women naturally don't have as much upper body strength as men, right? But I've worked out with, females. I've worked out with the strongest woman in the world. I'm not lying. That's not a stretch. Really? Yeah. And she's just as strong as me. Mind you, she's the strongest woman in the world, but I mean, she's on par, right? So, but in regards to the training program that would be set up for a male and a female, of course, a female is going to be a lot lighter than a male. So they're going to be in a lower calorie zone. But same calorie deficit applies to a female as it does a male. We have the same digestive systems and metabolic processes in our body.
What's a typical subscription of Michael Sheedy in terms of a calorie deficit and cutting weight? What's the typical, we'll say just the guidelines for how long does a training regimen last, and what kind of nutrition diets come along with that?
A typical prescription of what I would do for a client who's trying to lose weight, you said?
Yeah, lose weight, like more physique. They're trying to go for that aesthetic.
So, I would evaluate somebody based on where they're currently at. I would look at their body composition, what their habits have been in the past. And then from there, I would design a program that would get them to their goal their fastest while being healthy. Typically that takes, it's hard to say. Everybody's a little bit different, but I would say the average time it takes for me to get somebody in really great shape is about 4 months, 16 weeks.
I have to say, when I was going through your Instagram a few days ago, I saw a bunch of those progress photos.
Yeah.
And they are amazing, to say the least.
Thanks, brother.
People are looking just like average Joe, come out ripped six pack.
Yeah. It's discipline and accountability. That's all it really is. I can give someone a plan, but if they're not executing it, it's not going to work. So
is there a specific muscle group that's tougher to train? Let's say like between the abs or the chest or back as far as growing, or is that kind of just a myth? Because I know people always say like your calves are the hardest to grow.
Calves are really, I think calves are just stubborn in general. Like you see genetically, there's people walking around with like jacked calves and they've never done a calf raise in their life. And I'm doing like 12 sets a week and I still have skinny legs. That comes to your joints. Your joints really determine kind of the size of your muscles and how, if you have shorter legs, you're going to have bigger calves too. So, there's definitely muscles that are going to be harder to grow than others, I guess you could say, or make progress on. I think that everybody's body is different. Some people have strong points and weak points in different part of their bodies. And, that's something that I help people with as well. Typically, females like to work on the lower half. They want a big butt, and they want defined legs and a tight waist. So legs are a huge part of the programs that I do with females. And then, men are more interested in the abs and the chest. So those are things that typically I work with both genders.
And that comes down to the primal unconscious feelings that everyone has that we've discussed on in the
psychology of attraction. Yeah. It'll never go away. You can say you don't believe in it, but it's still there. It's embedded in our brains for survival.
Yeah. It's, especially in Vegas, where Vegas is just a very sexualized town, and the money is poured off of just how your looks are.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. You can deny it all you want, but it's there,
So, okay. And I'm curious, I'm looking a little bit more on the outro or the macro spectrum of Vegas. What is the fitness coaching realm look like in Vegas? Is there a lot of trainers, or is it a little more defined down and you guys just kind of consume more clients?
I think that the fitness coaching space in Las Vegas is very competitive. I think it's saturated, but when there's saturation in a market, that means there is a market, and that's a great thing. I think that competition means that there's availability for business. So I think that there's a lot of trainers. I think it's growing in popularity, the fitness coaching space. I know I've had a lot of people reach out to me recently, and since the pandemic, decided that they wanted to go in the direction of creating a business for themselves because they didn't like the fact that they didn't have control over their ability to make money. So I'm actually mentoring a couple people right now and starting their own personal training businesses. So that's another kind of area that I'm starting to go in, and I really enjoy helping people. So, the fitness coaching space is definitely competitive in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
My next question was, how do you separate yourself from that space? Obviously, you just touched on a little bit that you've been helping people build their own training programs. What makes you stand out as a great personal trainer?
So what makes me stand out is my branding and my relationships. I think that you really have to create an authority for who you are in your space and really tell people who you are. I heard something really cool recently. We've heard that saying before, be seen and not heard. And, you should be both seen and heard in your space. I think it's important to tell people who you are, what you're about, where you want to go, what you're doing to get to your destination, because people want to learn, people want to know, so if you're silent and really not putting things out there for people to see and adding value, you're not going to be seen and heard in any space, right? So I think what separates me really is my branding and what I've been able to do as far as working with the community. I've donated over $2,000 to charities here in Las Vegas. The Prep for School with Foodie Fit, we supplied 2 years in a row over how many backpacks we supplied over 2,000 backpacks and supplies to underprivileged schools here in Las Vegas. So the community outreach is a big thing that separates me, because you don't see a lot of trainers that are really getting involved with the community. So I try to be involved with things and really set myself apart by creating these relationships with other companies here in Las Vegas, like Foodie Fit, like some of these other companies that are involved with like charities and things like that. And then of course the branding aspect, where I'm not just a personal trainer. I am Michael Sheedy Fitness. I have a community. I have merch. I have shirts. I have hats. I have websites put up. So I think that really creates a different vibe versus someone who's just saying, "Hey, I do personal training." And okay, but what else are you? What else are you doing? So you have to create dynamics of who you are and who your business is and how you're involved with the community to really create a strong brand.
It's great foresight, because humanity is very tribal. And that's something that I've learned, is that we all want to be a part of something greater than us, right? Like, we've learned that the more isolated you are, the more depressed you are, and it just becomes a downward spiral. And sometimes it's hard for us to reach out and understand what we need. And so you've been taking initiative to show that you are a person and not just a trainer, and you're going out with community outreach, and then that you put yourself in front of them and they're like, "Oh crap, this buff guy is helping everyone out."
He's more than just a good looking body, and that's kind of like, that's kind of like who I am. I don't want to be just that guy who's in good shape and just posts selfies all day. I want to be more than that.
Yeah, the people who just post selfies all the time, you can see the narcissism that kind of just engulfs them on the inside, just with the different angles.
It's selfish. Yeah, it's super selfish.
It's tough. And, sometimes I don't blame them, because it's easy to get caught up in that, just based off of the feedback that you get from people. If no one ever gives you any negative feedback and it's just good.
It goes to your head.
Yeah, you surround yourself with yes men, yes women. Yeah. It just goes to your head.
You need people to tell you straight and tell you when you're being a dick. It's good to have those. I definitely have friends in my life like that. So
you have a good checks and balance system.
Yeah, I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
It's tough. We all have to surround ourselves like that.
Yeah.
And so we discussed that you've been helping people. Sounds like you're a little bit of an entrepreneur and you have some bigger aspirations as well. Is
Definitely.
there anything that you could discuss as far as what you're looking like forward outside of the fitness realm?
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for the future. I think that despite what's been going on recently, there's still a ton of opportunity. I think that the economy is going to rebound. So I'm not shrinking. I'm growing. Part of that is, being here and continuing to try to get my message out there of who I am and what I'm about. So I love helping people. Number one, I love business. Like, I think that's something really recently that I've started to realize is I love every aspect of business, even the stuff that's not fun, creating systems and making sure the business is running properly and seeing where you can improve, because there's always something you can work on. There's always something that you can get better at. And there's, in the entrepreneur space, and we have a free market here in the United States, which hopefully stays here. Being able to do business freely with who you want and move money around. There's so much opportunity. There's so many different things that you can do. You're not constricted just to one space. So with my personal training business, it's something definitely that I love, and I've been able to grow, and I've really created a staple of who I am here in Las Vegas and what my business is about, and I will continue to do that because I love it. But I'm also looking in other spaces in the entrepreneurial world and the fitness world as far as businesses. So I currently am working on some software for the fitness industry and for the influencer industry as well. That's kind of a big part of social media. So that's something that's exciting and something that I'm working on as well to really kind of create something fun and be a part of it. So
There's always a tech leverage play into everything that I've learned. And there's a popular philosopher that I follow that he tweeted yesterday. His name's Balaji Srinavan. I probably butchered that, but he's a famous tech entrepreneur in Cali. And he basically said that every business that was built before the internet is probably not going to survive. So you have to adapt with it. And tech is just advancing at such a fast rate with, VR is probably going to be the most popular medium next. Apps have just exploded. There's an app for everything. And so there's always a leveraged play in there somewhere. It's just about building those personal connections, like you're saying, and that you've enjoyed as much.
Yep. So I'm excited to get involved in the tech world a little bit and be a part of that and create something of value for people in the fitness and influencer space.
Yeah, that influencer space is something that I personally kind of had a negative cast towards until I started podcasting, and you realize the power of what influencers
platform.
It even means. It's interesting because
you can put a negative connotation to anything you want. I know I've used that word a lot in this podcast, but you can really attach a negative feeling towards anything. But that, and not talking shit, but that says more about you than it does about the actual thing that you're attaching that to.
It's the place that you are in life, in reality.
Yeah. You have a back off on it. You don't want to face it for what it is. I mean, if you like it or not, that space, social media right now is a big part of business, and with what's happened recently, you see businesses are now doing 50% in person, 50% online. And that's really where the world is going. I hope that we can get back to doing things, as we were before, being able to, go out and things like that once things are calmed down here in the United States with the virus. But despite that, the social media space, the e-commerce space is only growing and only going to get bigger. So I want to be a part of it.
I'm interested to hear your question on this. Do you think online training that I've seen, personal training, is going to be the next business boom, or do you think that it's just relative now because of the circumstances that surround it?
Oh, it's going to boom even more. Yeah.
So?
I've had a few people reach out to me recently and, ask me about online personal training and if they should get into it and that they're interested in doing it. So I think it's something that's going to actually explode. I think that, with the big events of the world that just happened, it's pushing us more in that direction of the digital landscape. And that's only going to further explode as we go forward, as people get more involved in the health and fitness space, which you will see because now people aren't taking their health for granted because we've had fear of the unknown of not being healthy because maybe we didn't work on our immune systems. We weren't working out. We weren't eating the right things. So now I've seen people go, wow, I need to take care of my health. That's super important so I can protect myself from the outside world. So there's more of a share of clientele in that fitness and health space for online trainers. And then there's people that are looking at their inability to create income from their jobs because it's been taken away and want to create a business for themselves. So that's going to definitely, that space is going to get bigger and more popular.
Okay, cool. Can we just describe or just give a more deeper approach to what online training is? Because I know online specifically, if you just cut that word out, there's many different mediums. It could be through video conferencing, through just a telephone, and then health. It could be training, dieting. Is online training, is it just kind of dialogue going between the trainer and the customer, or are you guys actually working out together through some sort of medium?
There's so many different mediums now. There's, like you said, there's apps, there's, there's different platforms. There's YouTube, there's Zoom, there's these fitness apps that people can download and do a different workout every day of the week. There's people that are doing workouts every day on their IG lives, to keep people in shape and healthy during this time when maybe they don't have access to a gym. So I think the mediums for people's ability to reach clients and people that want to get in shape has actually gotten much bigger since this event has happened, if it already wasn't going in that direction. So I think there's something for everybody. Some people love group classes, so they're going to be someone that likes to watch somebody that's doing a live workout and follow that. Some people like that accountability factor where they like to be in contact with their coach and get the nutrition side of things, and they're they're independent and can do workouts on their own. So everybody's different in kind of how they are able to approach their goals, and the mediums for the coaches to reach these people is definitely increasing as well.
Yeah, you touched on accountability. I thought that would be the biggest deterrent for online training, because most people, like you're saying, at least for females, they need that coach around them to motivate them and to get them kind of into shape.
Right.
But if you're going through an online channel,
right,
you're literally right next to your kitchen, or you're right next to the couch, or you're right next to your phone. And so I just thinking about it, you'd think that people kind of would be turned off from it because they have so much comfortability surrounding them and they're not in a training atmosphere. Yeah.
So, and then it goes back to psychology and emotion, right? So, people buy from people that they like. So if a girl likes this girl's body, she's going to buy the program that this girl is selling, this, training program. Doesn't mean she's going to use it. You know what I mean? So, I think also creating a community. I think that a lot of when you talk about the digital space, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's, TikTok, Twitter, whether it's a website, it's people like to get involved in a community. If they feel like they're surrounded by people that are, have the same morals and values and mission, they get on board. And that's what a lot of successful businesses have been able to do, is create communities around their brand and business. And you see that everywhere, one business that I really see in the digital space that's exploding, that has a really strong community, is Barstool Sports.
Yes.
That whole brand is just exploding. They went from sports to entertainment to food to stocks to podcast, and their whole kind of brand that they've been able to create around that, and the community involvement they have through their shareability of the content they've created is genius. And I think in an accountability factor, when it comes to fitness, I think that fitness businesses can do the same thing.
Interesting. That just the way that you describe that, the accountability it kind of transfers from the leader or the training the coach and becomes accountability by community.
Correct.
So that's why strong communities are more important.
Yeah. Same thing goes with a business. If it's a business being built on strong fundamentals, that's when the business has high morality. But if from the top down, you don't have good leadership and a community feel, the business is going to fail, because people don't want to work for somebody they don't like.
Wow, I literally just had a light bulb thinking about that. I was like, no wonder why you could see this industry exploding, because it takes, I would say, less stress off of the personal trainer, and he or she doesn't have to be as interpersonal with every single community member, just as long as the message is transgressing down.
Correct. Yep. Correct. And you're creating that community feeling. I mean, it's still a lot of work. So
I do have to say too, with Barstool Sports, Davey Day Trader Global is absolutely fucking hilarious. Have you been following that at all?
I heard about it and I saw a video, but I haven't followed it. No.
This dude. So basically, we're gonna go off tangent a little bit.
I want to hear about it. Yeah.
So basically, you know how he's been running Barstool Bets, like the sports betting realm, and they had all these degenerate bettors. Obviously, since sports has been closed,
right,
he still has this following of degenerate gamblers. So this is where the genius marketability comes in.
Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. He started trading stocks, and he called it Davey Day Trader Global.
Okay.
And so all these people who are betting sports are now following him. And there was a point where he was literally taking Scrabble letters and picking out 3 letters and buying them. And in a time of the economic crisis now, where the Fed is printing money, they estimated that there was in the mid millions, like 5 to 6 million bettors switched to Robinhood to follow his trades. And so basically he was picking trades, and people on Robinhood retail were just buying whatever he picked, and the stock is just like launching. And
I actually saw an ABC News story on that, that the stock market gurus are like upset with him, but upset in a way that's like childish, because he's actually doing well, and they didn't expect this guy who's had no experience in the stock market to start crushing it.
Yeah, it's he's a genius, especially too because
He's super smart.
the podcasting realm. But he's like, now he even goes out and he like yells like Warren Buffett's like he's an old timer now. He doesn't need anything. And he talks like the talking heads in the suits. They don't know shit. All I know is that stocks go up, and he just like picks random letters and just he just completely.
But he has a huge following, so he's able to kind of like almost influence a stock in a way if he wants, just by saying, "Hey, let's go on this one," and then boom, buy.
Yeah, it really reminds me of when I was trading crypto in 2017. That's when the market went up to 20K.
Yeah,
there was this guy named John McAfee who made McAfee antivirus.
Yeah.
He's like, he lives out in one of the Central America countries. He's like banned from America or whatever, but he would do this thing called coin of the day, where he would just say, all right, I'm buying this coin tomorrow. And then tomorrow that coin would pump like 50, 100% just based off. And obviously this is illegal in terms of the SEC eyes, but since he was living out of the States, they couldn't really attach him. So that's kind of like what my mentality was towards what Dave Portnoy's doing.
Yeah.
But it's all those people are so leveraged into it that it's like, I don't think you can actually like go against him. So he's a very genius guy.
Super smart. Yeah. I love everything that they're doing. So like I said, community. Community is huge, and you create that by being genuine, organic, and creating value for people, entertainment, education, things like that.
Yeah. Especially, have you ever listened to Call Her Daddy?
I listened to like a podcast or two, guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I had no idea about it actually until like the whole rift and the drama happened. But then I started listening to it and I was like, oh, this is literally like women locker room talk.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I want to know what they're thinking and what they're saying. I'm like, man, that's pretty wild. I've never heard anything like that. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing a fitness podcast or something towards Michael Sheedy?
I have. I thought about, earlier this year, it was a goal of mine to start a entrepreneurial, like an entrepreneur / fitness podcast, and have people that are involved kind of like almost like you're doing, but more specific to like business and entrepreneurship and fitness, and have people in the space. Cause I know a lot of people in Las Vegas that are involved in both entrepreneur and fitness in the fitness industry, but got a little sidetracked with some other, things I had going on before this pandemic happened.
Yeah, it's tough. You don't want to spread yourself too thin.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I've done that a few times in life, and it just ultimately comes to where you can't succeed with anything because your mind is in too many different places at one time.
Yeah. And then I go back and forth like, man, am I doing enough? It's like, okay, I'm busy, but am I productive? But I know I could do more here. Should I start the podcast? I have enough time on a Sunday. I don't know. Anyway, so it's definitely, something that is not off the table. And I love talking to people and learning about people's stories and giving people value, kind of like we're doing today. So
voice is becoming more and more powerful, and it's just becoming leveraged in more technologies as we go back to that. Like Amazon is trying to go into the podcasting space, and they want to tap into local podcasts, and they want to tie it into their Alexa home system. So if you're like living in Vegas and you're like, Alexa, turn on a health fitness podcast, it would like turn to the Michael Sheedy podcast.
Wow.
Or like, give me the local news. And then it'll go to like a local podcast.
Honestly, you're inspiring me a little bit. Like, I don't know any local, fitness coaches or personal trainers that have, podcasts or have that medium where they could, share value and connect with other, trainers or entrepreneurs. So it could be something I do soon.
The power of voice, man. It's something
huge.
that I love. Everyone loves to have conversations. Yeah. Vegas is probably one of the most social towns. It's built on trustability and visual stimuli. So that's just another tool, in the toolbox. We'll see where it goes. Like I said, technology just grows so fast. I see in 10 years, podcasting will probably turn to some sort of virtual reality transition. I already see that happening on some places already.
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah. I've seen like some VR lectures where they'll have like 200, 300 people watching this VR lecture, and there's a guy up there with PowerPoint slide. Wow. And then after it's over, they give you an hour to talk with all the community members that are in this lecture. Wow.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, technology is advancing super fast right now.
How is the fitness realm advancing in terms of just growth, right? Obviously, there's the marketability growing, but is there any sort of advancement in science or different training regiments?
Yes and no. I think that, there's a constant debate about nutrition and how different foods work with our bodies. I think as long as we have snake oil salesmen, as I like to call them, people pushing fads to make money off of them, selling books, bodybuilders who are claiming that they got to where they got through eating a vegan diet and not using steroids. There's gonna be people that are, buying into those views, but I feel like on the cutting edge of, research, I do think that there's a lot of things coming out that are debunking old myths and really pushing people towards science. I do feel like as much as there is kind of those that misinformation, I would say, out there, I would say that there's a larger community that's growing in the fitness space, both in the training and nutrition realm, that is debunking old myths and getting people to think more from a scientific standpoint instead of a popular standpoint. And I think that's important for the industry to go in that direction so that we can get people healthy. At the end of the day, it's about health. It's about well-being. It's about being happy, So, but, as long as there's a supplement industry, there's going to be people pushing products that people don't need. And there's a whole nother topic with that, with, pharmaceuticals as well, and Western medicine, and how, Western medicine wants to keep us on medication so that they can make money, so there's natural supplements that should be out there more, but you're not going to see a commercial on vitamin D3, but you're going to see one for Tylenol. Like, how ridiculous is that? So as long as we have the media, as long as we have supplements, there's always going to be that side where people are presented with misinformation and don't have the actual science behind how the body works and how we can continue to be healthier. But there is a part of the fitness industry and the health industry that is pushing science.
Yeah, and people just need to be aware of when capitalism is intervening for a quick buck.
Correct, but it's hard for people to see, and especially now. I mean, we could see that with a lot of what's going on right now. There's a huge push between capitalism and socialism.
Mm-hmm. So would you say as health progresses as a field, it becomes more about nutrition and the internal processes than it does actually about like the fitness training and hitting the weight room?
Say that one more time, man.
So as the overall health sphere, right, as it progresses, it becomes more about your nutrition, your hormones, right, internal regulation, than it does about the emphasis on just hitting the weight room or go running a few miles.
Yeah, I think that I think nutrition is being pushed more than ever. Both in a positive way and a negative way. I hate to kind of give the yin and yang, but again, a lot of these fad diets, people don't understand why they are the way they are. Like, keto is so popular, but there's so many people that don't do it the right way. And they don't understand why they're doing it. I think it's so important, if you're doing something, to understand why you're doing it, not just follow it because Kim Kardashian is doing it or because your favorite celebrity is doing it. Like, really research what diet that you're doing, really research what you're putting in your body and why you're doing it. Don't just do it. If you're going to do it right. But yeah, so I think that people like to do things that are popular.
So you're telling me keto protein is not the way to go? Yeah.
I mean, every diet serves its purpose, but at the end of the day, if you eat healthy, if you work out, you're going to be in good shape.
It's funny. I'm going to touch on the marketing thing, but I noticed like there's a lot of buzzwords that they put onto products where if you take that buzzword away, it's literally the same exact product.
Low calories, low fat, low sugar.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Like that's what I said with the keto thing, keto is just fat based. So it's just like keto protein. You're like, even without the word keto, it's still the same exact product.
Okay. So just protein. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's like, okay, protein doesn't have fat. So of course it's keto friendly. Yeah. But it's buzzwords, like you said, for marketing. That'll never go away as long as there's capitalism.
What's the next big buzzword trending?
In the fitness space?
In the fitness space.
That's a good question. Trying to think. I mean,
hasn't emerged yet.
Yeah, there's so much, you know what I mean? There's so many different fads and different things that people really want to kind of believe in. I'm trying to think of a question I've gotten recently, because I get questions all, probably detox, probably a cleanse. That's like super popular. People are always trying to kind of take a shortcut to get to their goals. So they're like, oh, I want to do a detox. And it's like some supplement that just like makes them, go to the bathroom for 3 days straight. So, there's good ways to do a detox and there's bad ways. Of course, you always want to, a detox shouldn't be used to lose weight. If you're going to do a detox, it should be to reset your body digestively, and kind of detoxify your organs, your livers, your whole system. It's not to lose weight. And I think that's ultimately, as humans, we innately seek instant gratification. And that's where people start to get into these different practices that aren't necessarily the best for them because they just want the easy way out.
Yeah, it's a little bit of those buzzwords. What is your opinion on nootropics? And nootropics is the pills that you see on Onnit, and they're like the cognitive enhancing supplements.
Okay.
Do you have an opinion on any of these?
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't done much research on nootropics themselves, but I do know, like from a biohacking standpoint, that they do have benefits and they are powerful. And if you take them, that you can, definitely see some, cognitive function, benefits, being able to, be clear-headed and feel a certain way. The end of the day, it comes down to still having good lifestyle choices, not doing drugs every day, not drinking every day, and eating healthy and working out. So you could take all the nootropics you want, but if you're not, eating healthy and getting 8 hours of sleep, and you're not going to have the cognitive benefits. But if you are someone that's already healthy and you add, these supplements that, have natural, herbs and vitamins in them to help increase your cognitive function, you're definitely going to, see that. I do believe that.
Yeah, I've tried a few. I know the specific types of mushrooms have been gaining popularity. There's like chaga and lion's mane. I think lion's mane is like the most popular one as far as like clear mental stimulation.
Okay. Yeah.
Personally, as I've tried them, I can't really tell that much of a difference. Maybe that's just because I'm already healthy or like considerably healthy. Yeah. But I feel like once you get into like the cognitive enhancements, it could almost be some
placebo.
sort. Yeah, exactly. A placebo where you're kind of just tricking yourself into it.
Yeah. And now that you say that, I would like to retract my statement on the buzzwords. Mm-hmm. Biohacking is actually popular and trending right now. People figuring out alternative methods for both working out, for nutrition, and for recovery. So like infrared sauna, that's super popular. These different like cold therapy practices, like ice baths. I can't think of the word. When you get into the, what's it called? When you're surrounded by like the freezing cold air, and you're in the.
I'm unsure the practice.
I'll think of the word. Anyways, alternative methods and modalities to recovery and nutrition are huge right now.
Biohacking, yeah, that is actually a word that I see a ton.
Infrared sauna is huge, which I love. I do infrared, all the time. So.
I saw too on your Instagram, you've done an ice tub bath recently.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah.
What are the benefits from that?
So honestly, for me, it's a well-being thing, and a recovery thing. I feel, well, actually I don't feel, I know for a fact it decreases inflammation, but inflammation isn't all bad. You want inflammation right after you work out. So you actually don't want to take an ice bath immediately post-workout because you're reducing your body's natural inflammatory process that help with recovery. Ice baths are good to use on recovery days when you haven't worked out, or even first thing in the morning. It doesn't have to be ice, it can be cold, but temperature contrast recovery is a great way to stimulate your body's lymphatic system, your central nervous system, your immune system, your recovery, and your actual endorphins. Okay. So after I get out of an ice bath, I literally feel like euphoric. Like I feel refreshed. I feel relaxed. I feel happy. I think I know it does something to your body on a physiological level that you can't get anywhere else. I think as humans, we constantly seek comfort. We want to be at, room temperature constantly. We want to, sleep. We don't want to, do too much strenuous things. So it doesn't matter how many times I've done an ice bath. I still almost don't want to get in. Right when I'm going to get in, I'm thinking oh man, this is going to suck. But as soon as I'm done, I'm happy I did it.
It's that mental barrier that you just think this is going to be the worst thing. But then once you get 10 seconds into it, you're just why did I even have that sort of perspective on that situation? Yeah.
One of the, some of the best experiences I've had in life are things that I feared the most.
Yes, exactly. That's right now what you're doing, right? Yeah. You're a founder, business owner, entrepreneur. Every time you've gone through these different situations, it was something new, and there is some sort of doubt that everyone has in the beginning. But once you get down the road, you realize that the road is limitless, and the potential at the end could be so huge that it's just comfortable walking down that road now. Yeah, and you just want to find new ones.
Yeah, it gets to be fun instead of scary.
Yeah, and speaking on alternative modalities, and recovery, have you ever experimented with meditation?
I have. Yeah, I have. I'm not going to say that I'm super disciplined and consistent with it, but I have meditated a few times. I think that I know that I could be better at it. I've never been trained in meditation. And I know there's actually places around the world that you can go that they can actually train you in meditation and how to properly get into a meditative state. But I do believe it is it's powerful, and it's a great way to bring yourself into present moment. So you're not thinking about, you're not anxious about the future or the past.
Yeah, it's about reducing your mental vibrations or the wavelengths within your brain, something like that. And when you get into a meditative state, I know your heart rate decreases lower, and it mimics like you're sleeping or you're in deep REM.
Yeah.
Which could have its own positive benefits, and it becomes more increasingly popular. And obviously, when things become more popular, you have to kind of look at it and see why is it popular, and then you have to look for the bad actors in it as well. Yeah,
I got some things to do some research on after this. I'm going to look into mushrooms and nootropics and a little bit into the meditation, because I would like to know more of that, because I do believe in the holistic side of health as well.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of especially mushrooms. And psychedelics are becoming more and more popular, and they have their own benefits and medicinal purposes from that, as far as curing PTSD, anxiety, and all of these different internal, I don't want to call it, just these internal bad habits that we have and character flaws.
Right.
But all character flaws can always be corrected. It's just you have to find the right sort of procedure or the right way of life and better habits.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a reality to you as far as the modalities that you use to get there, I mean, it works. Yeah.
I respect that a lot. So we've been going at this for about probably an hour 10.
Damn, time flies.
Yeah, time flies. I'm curious. I always ask 2 questions at the end, and we could talk about this for as length of time.
Yeah.
The year is 2030. What does Michael Sheedy Fitness LLC and Michael Sheedy's life look like?
So 10 years from now, I would like to have financial freedom, be able to go wherever I want to go, do whatever I want to do, and still be helping people. I think my goal ultimately is to enjoy life. I want to be excited. I want to be happy about what I'm doing. Of course, I do want to be successful. I do want to, make a lot of money, but it's not just the money, it's the experiences that come with that. So I would like to have my hand in a couple different businesses, both in the fitness industry and possibly without. I would like to have multiple assets and different revenue streams, and still be helping people and recognized in the fitness space as well.
Yeah, make the money work for you while you sleep.
Yeah.
Or else you'll work every day till you die.
That's the goal. Yeah. You can't always trade hours for dollars. You got to figure out ways to impact people and create revenue streams for yourself. That's going to afford your lifestyle and allow you to have resources to be able to help more people.
I really like too that you said with or without the fitness realm. And looking ahead, I think it's really, really good to be aware that life evolves very fast.
Yeah.
And spaces either grow or they just completely collapse. And
Yeah.
so you can't, it's good to not be fixated on one final end goal, and you have to be aware to pivot, because all of the great companies, all the great successors in life, they've pivoted many times in their life, and they didn't know what the pivot was going to be, but they were aware that at some point in the future, this is inevitably going to happen.
Yeah. Change is inevitable no matter what.
Well put.
Yeah.
And the last question is, what does Las Vegas mean to you?
Las Vegas means home, born and raised. I love this city. I really do. I think Las Vegas is growing. I think that there's a community outside of the Strip that's very strong, and it's growing since the events that have happened in the past couple of years, with the shooting, and, now having our own hockey team, and now we're going to have our own football team. I think that Vegas is really starting to become not just a transient city, but it's really starting to become a community. And I do believe that there's like endless amounts of opportunities for people, as long as you have discipline and you have a good mindset, that there's really, really a great place for everybody to excel in if you really want to. So I think Vegas is home, and it's a great city for opportunity.
Discipline was the key word right there.
Yeah.
Because you could get caught up in the Las Vegas lifestyle so easy. Yeah. And, everyone does at some point, but you have to realize that this isn't maintainable or sustainable.
It's a balance. Like I said, just like with a cheat day or cheat meal, it's always good to reset. It's okay to go out and get drinks every once in a while and, let loose and have fun. But I think, it's important to focus on your priorities and make sure that you have those in line, and then, allow yourself to be able to kind of relax and reset in between then, and not just be a robot.
Favorite cheat meal?
Oh man, it's been changing lately, dude. I don't know what it is. I have really enjoyed pizza lately. Like, I love pizza with a white sauce, with like feta cheese and bacon and tomatoes. I don't know what about it. Lately, I've really been into pizza with garlic butter dipping sauce. Yeah, that's been my thing. In cookies. Cookies is something that's, if I have a vice, that's probably it.
Ooh, I love it. I'm a big donuts guy. I'll go to Pink Box, get 6 donuts.
People love donuts, man. I'm not huge into it. I don't understand it, but I have had Pink Box, and it is pretty good.
How can everyone get connected with you?
So you can connect to me easiest. I'm very active on Instagram. That's like my main platform that I use to share value and educate and entertain. So Instagram, Michael Sheedy Fitness. Also my website, michaelsheedyfitness.com. Those are kind of my 2 platforms that I really utilize and share value. Yep.
I'll be sure to tag that in the show notes. Thank you for coming on, man. Dude, this is an amazing conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Very amazing. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.